the 10 steps to success. And we're going to be doing step one today. So, step one is your why. So, the reason that this is step one is because it really truly is the most important one. We have to have a reason. We have to have a motivation. We have to know exactly why we're doing this because it's not easy. Okay. We've never said it was easy. If anybody ever told you that it would be easy to be an entrepreneur and build a home-based business opportunity, they were probably not telling you the whole truth, right? Because it can be complicated. There's always going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be roadblocks, and there's going to be people that attack you and say things about you, or try and discourage you. And some things are going to be delayed, and some things aren't going to work out like you thought. So if you follow the 10 steps completely, we'll get there, right? But you got to have the motivation, the reason in the first place that'll get you through those difficult times, right? To get you through, the roller coaster, right? The ups and downs. So that is why step one is your why. Now, we've all been here, right? We've all been like this guy up against a brick wall. We've all felt this way, right? Where we just thought, I can't go forward, whether it was because of some tragedy that's happened in our lives, financial, family, spiritual, whatever it is, right? We all have probably been here, and it's not fun, and we don't know what we're going to do. So it could be, like I said, financial, right? Our budget's just not working out. We got more month at the end of the money instead of money at the end of the month. We're frustrated, we're struggling, and we're trying to make ends meet, and it's just not working out for us, right? We're probably like most people, you're doing a job, which is great, being part of something like having a career, whether it's being in a doctor's office or being in retail or whatever it is. Those are good things, right? They're not bad things, and we don't want to ever say that. We never want to let people feel like, oh, if you're working a job, you're a loser or something, right? Like, no way, no. Everybody needs to find fulfillment in whatever it is. And I know very passionate people who love what they do, but we just know that it doesn't always meet the needs, right? It doesn't always allow us to do the things that we so would want to do. So, we're kind of limited sometimes. And okay, I'm going to just kind of eat the bare minimum, right? I'm gonna just kind of get by on, the okay kind of junk food and that kind of thing because that's all I can afford right now, right? Sometimes we just think, oh, maybe I can go one more year with my clunker car, right? Something that someday I'm gonna have that new nice car. I'm gonna get the one I've always dreamed of, that kind of stuff, right? And the reason that all of that is the reality for most people is because of the enemies of wealth, right? It all comes down to the taxes, the inflation, the medical expenses, the long-term care, the stock market volatility, all the things that keep us from moving ahead. Okay, I've called them the headwinds. Others have called them the enemies of wealth, right? And it really is. This is a sobering fact. Per the IRS, only 4% of the population retires earning $33,000 annually or more. That's it. 4%. That means 96% of the people out there are or they're underserved, right? They either have to go get a second job, whether that's being a door greeter at Walmart or whatever. They've got to depend on family or their church or the government, right? To just survive. Okay, it's a sobering fact, and the reason it happens is because unfortunately 34% of all our income that we ever make goes to interest and debt because we live on credit cards, we live on debt, we live on taking out loans, and we're paying interest on all of that. The second is because 28% of income goes to taxes, right? We know that. and inflation. Unfortunately, it cuts into our retirement plans big time. 4.1% in inflation, which is about average, okay, per year. It will cut your money in half within 18 years. So when you take all that into consideration, that's why it's so hard to get ahead. Those headwinds are pushing against us, right? And if we are left to traditional money management and just the typical plan that they teach us in school or whatever, you just go get a job and put your money into, like a 401k or something. Unfortunately, most people are not going to make it. Okay. And we're only left with about 30% of our income. And we're going to really struggle to be able to have a nice retirement. And so, because of all of that, you've got to define a why, a reason why we want to do something different, something a little bit out there, maybe something a little bit risky, possibly. Okay. But because the alternative is this, and we don't want this. We don't want to be in those 96% that when retirement comes, we can't retire and we got to go keep working or doing whatever, and we can't enjoy those golden years, right? So Warren Buffett, he always taught that if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. That's a kind of a drastic way to say it, but it's the reality, right? We've got to find a different way. We've got to find something different. Not, and it's another quote I like from Eric Worre is, it's not perfect what we're trying to suggest here, but it's at least better. Okay, better than the alternative. So what does that mean? It means the secrets of the wealthy are these. We need to follow the counsel of J. Paul Getty, where we get some leverage in our lives, where he said, I'd rather have 1% of the effort of 100 men than 100% of my own effort. Because if you're on the left side of this quadrant here, whether you're an employee or you're self-employed, you're working for yourself and you're limited to what you can do. You're limited to only what your 24 hours in a day can handle, right? Because you got 8 hours basically for sleeping, then typically 8 hours for working, and then you got another 8 hours to do whatever else, right? And that's usually not enough. It's not enough. And even if you're self-employed, you can make more in those few hours that you have, but it still depends on you. If you don't show up, if you're a doctor, you don't show up to see your patients, you're not getting paid, right? And so the secret is to move to the right side of the quadrant. The secret is to either become a business owner or an investor, where you have systems and people working for you or money working for you. So that then becomes what we would call residual income. Residual income, like Art Jonak said, it's so powerful that if you understood it truly, you would walk through brick walls to get it, right? So like that guy at the first, right? He's leaning against that brick wall. Oh, we're going to break through that brick wall so we can get the residual income, because the linear income, like we're talking about, if you're an employee or self-employed, when you stop showing up to work, you stop getting paid, right? It cuts off. And then you retire, and okay, maybe you have a residual income through the Social Security program, but who knows, if it's never going to be enough, obviously. And, who knows if it'll even continue, right? And years from now, decades from now, it may all go bankrupt. We just don't even know, right? We don't want to be dependent on a Social Security program for our retirement, because even if it is still around, it's not going to be enough to go and enjoy our retirement. Okay. So the secret is getting a residual income, because not only does it continue after you stop working, like Warren Buffett said, it continues even while you're sleeping, but it potentially could continue to grow. It could continue to increase because it's not dependent just on you anymore. It's dependent on the system and the money working for you, right? So that's what we're talking about. That's why this is so important, to understand what we have and give it the time it needs to turn into something, right? And that's why defining your why is a long term. It's something that, okay, yes, there's some immediate needs that we need to take care of, but over time, if we allow it, it will give us the all of our dreams as well. Okay, so Taking another job is not going to fix the problem, right? We do have to create those additional pipelines of cash flow to have the solution long term and residual so that we can actually fight back against those headwinds. So that we can finally just be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to the ATM and pull out some cash. I'm going to pay off my credit card so I'm not paying interest, right? Typical credit cards nowadays are right around 20% to 29% every month in interest. It's insane, right? Pay those off. Paying off your debt of your home, your mortgage, right? Just like this family here, crushing your mortgage. What if you could do that? What if you could actually pay off your mortgage in 5 years because you had extra income, residual income coming in right now, right? That could help you pay that off faster so you're not paying all of that interest in one of those enemies of wealth. And now you have the means to actually go and eat at fine restaurants, right? And actually go out and enjoy, a meal, or getting that brand new vehicle that you've always dreamed about, right? In this case, my dream vehicle is I want to get a Chevy Colorado, and I want it to be the blue, kind of like this car here that you see, right? And you got to define that, right? Like, what does it actually look like? What is uh, my dream? What is it I want specifically? You don't want to just say, "Oh, I'd like to have a nicer car," and wouldn't it be great if I had more money and all that? No, we want to define our why as something specific that we want. You've heard of putting up a dream board, right? People have done that too. They put a thing up maybe on their mirror in their bathroom. It lists all the things they want to do, whatever it is. And if we can create a why that makes us cry, right, something that we're so passionate about, it will help us to get through the difficult days. And sometimes when there's delays or other issues, right? So all of a sudden now we can afford that dream home and actually have a beautiful place to retire in, and maybe have family, grandkids, whatever come over. Okay, then be able to travel and be able to go visit some of the most beautiful places on the planet, and maybe go on a cruise, right? And just enjoy life, because it's possible. It's a reality once you figure out how to do these 10 steps we're going to continue to talk about. Living in luxury, being treated like royalty, right? Not going to the 2-star hotel, but actually being able to stay in the 5-star hotel, and seeing some of these amazing places, right? Going to Italy, or maybe going to Paris and seeing the Eiffel Tower, or maybe going to Egypt. This is mine right here. I'm going to go to Egypt. That's my goal. That's my bucket list right there. Go ride a camel and see the pyramids right up close. I've always been fascinated with the mummy and Egypt and that kind of stuff. It's so fun. So that's one of my goals. I'm going to go. And then taking that dream vacation, theme parks or wherever you want to go, having those magic memories with your family and loved ones. Machu Picchu. This is another one I want to go do. I've always dreamt about going to Machu Picchu in Peru. I think it'd be so cool to go see that, right? And then just being able to relax, just be able to go stay on the beach somewhere, right? Knowing that the money is coming in, whether you're on the beach or you're, out seeing the pyramids or whatever it is, that is something. I don't know. It just seems like if you could see that this is a possibility and it really is true, you would walk through that brick wall, like Art Jonak said, to get that residual income. So we're defining our why here, right? We're allowing ourselves to dream and to have a vision of the possibilities, and it can become a reality. But then beyond that, here's the other thing. This is the other thing that I've just thought about is, okay, well, what happens now? I've got a nice home, and maybe I've got a brand new car, and maybe I've traveled. I went to Egypt already. I went to Machu Picchu, right? Well, now what? Well, now it's about maybe volunteering, maybe going to a third world country and getting vitamins to kids, right, that are malnutritious, or don't have meals, right? Or maybe helping to get a well built so that people can have clean water in their village, right? Maybe instead of having to walk for miles with buckets to bring water back. Maybe you can actually, get clean water pumped right into their little town, or just going out and helping to make the world a better place, building an orphanage, or whatever it is, right? Helping to make the world happier. That is now possible because you've got the means to do it, right? That's what motivates me. That's what I will be so excited to go and be part of once this residual income happens, and we can enjoy our retirement years, but also go and just know that we lived a fulfilled life, right? So we got to make our vision so clear that our fears become irrelevant. We can't be fear-based anymore. We've got to really understand, once we've defined that, know what it really means to do this, it can help us get through the rainy days, right? Because people will lose their way when they lose their why. When people quit, when people drop out, it's because they lost their why. It's that simple, right? They forgot why they came in the first place. So when your why is big enough, you will find your how. That's the other thing, right? Now you know, okay, this is why I'm doing it. This is why it's so exciting and everything. Now I'm going to figure out how to do it. And that takes us into the next steps in the 10-step series, right? That we're going to talk about over the next few weeks. But defining your why and getting it big enough will allow you to do the rest of the steps when it's time. So let's just read a couple more quotes here. It's not about perfect, it's about effort. And when you implement that effort into your life every single day, that's where transformation happens. That's how change occurs. Keep going. Remember why you started. And no matter how slow you go, you're still lapping everybody else on the couch, right? So it doesn't matter if you need to go slow in the beginning. That's okay, but just keep going. And then finally, don't look for motivation, find your why, then no excuses will come between you and your goals. So with that, we're going to call it a day. Thanks so much. Go out and do your dream board, define your why, write it down in your journal, put it on a big poster board, whatever you got to do. Define your why, define what's motivating you, define something very personal, whether it's, hey, I want to retire my parents. I want to have to, so my wife doesn't have to go to work, and she can stay home with the kid, or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you're motivated by, both tangible things and maybe emotional things, spiritual things, whatever it is, so that you can know exactly what it is that's going to keep you moving when things get hard, when trials come. Because in the end, it is all about lasting. The 10th step in the 10-step series is all about the consistency and what we'll call the golden rule. We'll talk about that when it comes. So with that, thanks for joining me today. We'll end, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yep. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.